Welcome to this episode of GlideChat. I'm Kali Alexander, technical trainer here at GlideFast, and I am flanked by some of the most brilliant minds in the ServiceNow community, and they also happen to be my coworkers. We are coming to you today because everyone that you see on the screen today has been honored by the ServiceNow ecosystem for their leadership, for their contribution to the community, and they have been awarded either Rising Star, such as myself, or Developer or Community MVP. So I want you to get to know a little bit about them. So we're going to go around our virtual room, and I like to start off with Sarah. Sarah, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your name, what award you received, and your current role here at GlideFast.
Hi there, I am Sarah Toulson. I'm an architect at GlideFast, and this is my second year being selected as a ServiceNow Developer MVP.
I am right now shooting an air horn up in the sky for you, so I'm happy that you are here. I want to next go to Ryan. Tell us your name. Tell us, the whole spiel. Tell us your name. Tell us your current role and also the award. And that'll be for everyone. Ryan, go ahead. Tell us about you.
Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Gillespie. I'm a technical architect here at GlideFast, and for the second year running, I am a ServiceNow Developer Rising Star.
Yes, right on, right on. Adam, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Adam Celli. I'm a service delivery manager and senior technical consultant at GlideFast, and I'm a developer MVP this year.
Yay, congratulations. Congratulations. Uma, give us the spiel. Tell us your name, tell us your current role, as well as the award you received from ServiceNow.
Yep. Hello, everyone. My name is Aggarwal, and I'm working as a technical consultant in GlideFast. And I have received the Rising Star Award for the first time. So,
Yeah, congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations. And finally, but certainly not least, Michael, tell us about yourself.
Hi, name's Michael Jones. I'm an architect here at GlideFast, and this is my third consecutive year as a ServiceNow Community MVP.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. And let's talk about, I'm really curious. Yes, yes. I want to know, how were you introduced to ServiceNow? I'm curious about what you were doing before ServiceNow and how you got here. So we'll go in that same order. Sarah, let's kick it off.
My background is not IT at all. The time I got introduced to ServiceNow, I was working in the city clerk's office in Daphne, Alabama, where I was living at the time. I was also doing graphic design as an independent designer. And a friend of mine, this longtime veteran of the platform, showed me what this platform was capable of, especially to build automations and better tools for my friends in state and local government. I got on board. I began working on the platform. I really honed into Service Portal, both design and development, and just creating great end user experiences via Service Portal on the platform.
I love hearing that story, because what I heard you say is that you had a graphic design background, and now hearing that your role in ServiceNow includes Service Portal. So I can see how that graphic design background helped to inform your work now, because, the word on the ServiceNow streets is that you are the queen of Service Portal. So we're really lucky to have you here at GlideFast. So congratulations to you. I'm happy to learn a little bit more about your journey. Ryan, tell us what's up. How did you get here?
So I actually started out as an asset and configuration manager. So that was my introduction to ServiceNow. We tracked all of our assets and CIs in ServiceNow, and the opportunity came up to take the CSA course, and I met the person who was instructing the course, and we became friends, and they sort of just sucked me into all of this, and so here I am today.
The thing is, Ryan is known for a huge personality. And so I'm not surprised that he was able to keep his ear to the ground and then, finally make friends and then get kind of sucked into this ecosystem. As you learn about each person in this virtual room, you'll understand that each of us come from a different perspective and a different background. Ryan, I just want to be clear. Were you working for a customer at the time when you got pulled into ServiceNow?
Yeah. So we were tracking all of our company's assets and CIs. It was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun actually, and that's sort of why I decided to keep going down that path, as I just really enjoyed using the platform and seeing all the things that we could do. And at that time we were building out like Ham Pro and Sam Pro ourselves. So to see where that's come today is also really neat.
Right on. And I'm actually gonna circle back to something that you just said a little bit later in this conversation. So thank you for sharing that. Adam, tell us how you got here.
Yeah, so as you might guess from my background, I have a musical background, and I was actually pursuing a graduate performance degree, a master's in double bass performance at the University of Maryland. I was also working at the IT help desk at the time. They started the process of a ServiceNow implementation while I was there. I had developed a few processes that we were using, and I was working with a partner to pull them out of the ancient footprints implementation that we were on and bring it up to ServiceNow. This was around 2015. From there, moved to help desk at another organization, said, wow, this knowledge base could really use some help. Can I work on it? My manager at the time said, yeah, sure. Let's get you a knowledge manager role. And that was kind of where I started looking under the hood with ServiceNow. And then from there, kind of got into portals, mostly because that's what got put on my plate at another customer. And from now, I'm at GlideFast.
You've mentioned that you are also a musician, and I can kind of hear it in your voice, and your mic, your sound is just so beautiful. I'm curious about how you're able to intersect that artistic background with your current work here at GlideFast and on the ServiceNow platform.
Yeah. So for me, I think the biggest skill that transfers between the two is problem solving. When you're practicing in the practice studio, and you get to a passage and you're just like, how do I get my hand to do this? You break it down into smaller pieces. What does breaking down a big problem into small pieces sound like? Agile development, story writing. So, and I actually have been on the side working on a practice management mobile app in my PDI. So that's the real intersection right there.
I love hearing that. I know one of the things that I do is that when I feel overwhelmed by something, there's this East African quote that I say to myself: the way to eat the elephant is one bite at a time. And you remind me of that in speaking about your approach to agile development and the intersection between your artistic endeavors and your current work in ServiceNow. So thank you for sharing that. I want to go to Uma. Tell us how you got here.
Hey, hi. So my story is quite interesting, at least for me. So I started my career with Android development back in 2010. At that time, to be honest, I was not even aware what ServiceNow is, and due to some location constraint, I had to move back to my home base. There, I was put into operations and support project. There, I was first introduced with ServiceNow as an end user. So I was the one who was raising the incidents, implementing the changes, and solving the problems. So from end user perspective, by that time as well, I was loving this tool, but then I was not aware that we can do customizations, we can create our own applications and all those things. And in my one of the previous company, I get to know that we can do all those things. We can build our own applications, and it has this is capable of lot many things. And then I came to know, like, it has everything. You talk about ITOM, it's there. You talk about ITSM, it's there. I mean, GRC, whatever process you talk about in business, it's there on service now. So that's when I kind of fell in love with it, and I decided to explore it further. And in the journey, Robert Fedrook was the first person who helped me, who made me understood that it's not a tool, it's a kind of platform where we can build our own applications. And yeah, then the chain never kind of stopped. After Robert, he was the one who taught me service now initially, the core functionalities. After that, I kept on learning from the different sources, like community was there, then the developer portal. Those things helped me a lot. And GlideFast and Travis Toulson at GlideFast, he helped me a lot getting the CSA done. And Michael Lombardo, of course, who financed that cert even when I was not employee of the GlideFast. So that's the culture of GlideFast I loved. And yeah, that's the time. And after that, my own company gave me a break. I cleared the interview for internal job posting, and since then I never looked back. And since then I'm working as a ServiceNow developer.
Yeah, it's sort of like the thing where like ServiceNow, when you like step your foot into ServiceNow, it just won't let you go. And then when you combine that with this culture, this amazing culture that we have at GlideFast, you feel like you're in a fully supported environment. One of the things that I heard in your story was the importance of mentors in leading and helping you to move through your career journey. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say these three people, in terms of mentors, I've got the Duke, Robert Fedrook. He was my first mentor. So I used to work during the day, during my midnight. I used to attend the sessions to understand ServiceNow concepts, and then next day I used to practice those things in my office. So along with work. So his mentorship has been like incredible. And then after that, I've got like many people, but yes, Robert and Travis, these were two main pillars of my studies of service now,
Yeah.
I would say. So yes, mentorship makes the things really easy, I would say. If you get the mentorship, you have somewhere to go, right, when you get stuck. So yeah, that has helped me a lot. And then yeah, community, I have asked lot many questions on community, so that has helped me a lot as well. So
Yeah.
mentorship is a bliss, I would say, if you get it.
Sure, absolutely. And it's like the thing with mentorship is that now you're on the other side of that, where because of your contributions to the community, you're now acknowledged by ServiceNow as being one of the leaders here. So this is a beautiful full circle story. So yay!
Yeah, it's just a start. I mean, just a start. So yeah, I would like to contribute more and more to the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. So next, Michael, tell us how you got here.
Absolutely. I had the, I guess, almost standard issue journey of starting with IT. Started off at the service desk, worked my way through a ton of positions, doing just about everything. Ended up being a developer and was supporting a bunch of service request portal applications. Believe it or not, interesting history point. There used to be whole applications just dedicated to the service catalog. And then along came ServiceNow. Was working for a multi-service provider, and suddenly they had a customer that needed some support with ServiceNow. They had no one that could even begin to touch the stuff, so they just tossed me in with an ID and a link to Wiki and said, go.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been my journey ever since. So I've just continued just being a shock trooper, getting dropped in wherever there was a big problem that needed to be solved or something difficult no one else could figure out, and worked for that company a good, 20 years total, but in service now for about 6 years. And then they decided to kind of take a different direction with their staffing. So I took a chance on a small company called Cloudpires. They accepted me, embraced the eclectic talents that I brought to the table, and set me loose on the ServiceNow platform, and haven't looked back since.
It's interesting how those voluntold experiences can make a world of difference in our career paths, right?
Absolutely.
You talked about how you're sort of like one of these folks who kind of can get dropped into a situation and just kind of figure it out. How has that, if you can give us kind of a view, how has that served you well in your career in service now and at GlideFast?
Well, definitely one of the big challenges with any ServiceNow implementation is when someone else has developed something and then a problem shows up and that person's been gone for 2 years. Um,
Mm,
Having someone that can come in and actually, tear the solution apart and figure out, what went wrong, how to fix it, that sort of thing. It's definitely been one of those adventures, right? So having that kind of experience has definitely helped me as a developer, because I tend to build towards the ideal of making sure that everything that I build should be understandable by the next person that comes along, and it shouldn't be built off of, shall we say, duct tape and baling wire.
right, definitely,
I think that's
definitely.
a good launching off point for your nickname, Michael.
Tell us your nickname, Michael.
My nickname is the White Hat Gremlin. And that's sort of a joke because of the white hat piece. I'm a white hat hacker. I love to tear things apart to make them better, which also ties in with being a gremlin, right? They like to tear things apart. But also inspiration always strikes right around midnight. So you can be working on the problem for all day, all night, and right around midnight, right when you're about to turn in the towel, that's when all of a sudden it all comes together and you're like, oh, I'm not sleeping tonight.
Right.
No, you're not eating either. You're not allowed to eat after midnight either. No, that's a non-negotiable.
Right.
You're not sleeping. You're not eating. Yes. Each year, actually a couple times a year, ServiceNow comes out with 2 updates. We're right on the horizon of the Utah update. And I'd like to know from each of you what you're most looking forward to in the Utah update. And we're going to switch this up a little bit because I hate to put Sarah in the hot seat every single time. So, Ryan, what are you looking forward to in this Utah update?
I thought maybe this was going to be like an update set we could just skip. Coming from the asset management space, I'm really looking forward to the asset maintenance stuff and the asset reclamation stuff. In my previous life, I built out so many reports and dashboards to get me some of that same data, and it wasn't as clean as I'm sure it will be in Utah with everything that they've built out. But I built out things like data certification tasks and reports and scheduled jobs and all sorts of other stuff to piecemeal a lot of that functionality together. So to essentially save other people from having to do the same stuff, I'm really looking forward to what ServiceNow has done there, because that's probably the one piece that was missing for a lot of us. And I'd like to see something tied in a little bit more with, finance, but I think that'll come down the road as that stuff grows out, because finance obviously has a big piece of that. So we'll see if maybe that's even part of this. I don't know yet, right? We haven't really seen, but I think that's really exciting for you asset geeks out there like myself.
Yeah. The Utah release, and we have these, as I mentioned, 2 releases each year, and going through all of the updates. And if I understand correctly, it seems like the fall release has a little bit more robust offerings. But when I was looking through the release notes for Utah, I saw some interesting things. And one of the things that I thought that I was really kind of excited about, because of a part of benevolence, I guess, is that there is a flow to be able to donate your assets when they're no longer of service to your organization. So I think that's a pretty key feature as well, speaking of assets. But I want to right?
Yeah, a lot of people and a lot of businesses do that. They'll donate them, or they may have an ITAD vendor, let's say, that they'll turn equipment into, and as part of their agreement, that particular vendor may put pieces and parts back together to make it functional equipment and sell that or donate that, and working with your organization to do that sort of stuff. So there, you can make some money from asset. I'm just saying, it's not just all burn baby burn. You're not just ripping off the Benjamins.
100%.
Yeah, right. You can make some money.
So next, Adam, tell us, what are you most looking forward to in the Utah release?
Yeah, so I've been exploring the new theme builder that was just added for making the instance themes. If any of you have done that on San Diego or Tokyo, it's a little bit complicated. There's a lot of information presented in a not very user-friendly way. Theme Builder is a much nicer way to set up your instance theming. So I've been playing around with that. There's some UI Builder enhancements that I'm also looking forward to. So yeah, a lot of front-end stuff.
Yeah, front-end stuff, it makes, the glitz, the glamour of it all is in the front-end stuff. Yeah, for sure. Uma, what are you most looking forward to in the Utah update?
To be honest, I've not gone through all the release notes, but yes, I've seen few things, and which has been my pain point when I was in operations was like we used to get the operation tickets from across the globe, and they used to be in different languages, and we used to Google search and to understand what's there and reply back. So I see there's one feature called language detection. So I hope that will make the task easy for the people who are still in operations and working in the ticket. So that's something more exciting for me because I've gone through that pain of decoding the languages and replying back.
Right. I think about we're here at Utah, and perhaps like around September or so, we'll get the next release. And I'm kind of curious what they're going to name it. The only thing I can think of is Xanadu, but I'm not sure. But maybe we'll see more updates along the lines of what you're talking about in that update. So, Michael, what are you most looking forward to seeing, or are there things that you would like to see in this release or future releases?
Every time I get asked that question, what would I like to see? My mind always immediately goes blank. But 10 minutes from now, I'll have 50 things I could tell you I'd love to see. So I would definitely echo things about the theme builder that I'm very excited about, because one of the first things that every customer wants to see is they want to make that instance their own.
Sure.
So making and simplifying that process is great. I'm also interested in some of the enhancements that they're making in the CSM and FSO space.
Sure.
Something that they're expanding that I'm kind of excited to see they've put into core CSM is service definitions for specific case types. So that's something I think that's a great feature that a lot of people can take advantage of.
Sure, absolutely. I think Theme Builder, the updates there are going to be quite popular. And that brings me to Sarah. Sarah, what are you most interested in seeing in this release, and what would you like to see in future releases?
So Utah is bringing this dumb little feature that I absolutely love. It's the ability to group your favorites. It's nice. So your favorites list isn't just like this long list, but you can actually group and categorize them, especially in an instance where you're saving a lot of things, or like in my PDI where I have a zillion different things going on. It is extremely helpful. And I just really appreciate it when ServiceNow takes the time to improve these little details, these little features that make our lives as both developers and power users easier. So that for the Utah release. And feature releases, I am really excited to see where ServiceNow takes their tools for end user experiences. UI Builder is fantastic for building internal portals and things like that. But with more organizations using ServiceNow as an end user or even public facing platform, I'm really looking forward to see how ServiceNow tackles updating and replacing Service Portal in the future.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. And I also appreciate what you said about those fine little details with their favorites, because as I go through, and I'm quite new to service now, I realize that my favorites list has like a bunch of different things. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Now, where is it? Where is it? But being able to group those things together can certainly make navigation a lot easier. And it also, your brain also appreciates that organization as well. So that's a pretty cool update. And I'm glad that you brought that up. Finally, I want to ask you all if you have a final thought that you would like to share with us, and where can people find you on social? And this time, I want to start off with Adam.
Yeah, so I think my parting thought is get out there, talk to others, especially outside of your organization. I think there's a lot of value in connecting with people in the community. We have 4 people here representing community, MVP, Rising Star. And so whether that's the official ServiceNow community forum, the sndevs.com Slack, all the other places, there's LinkedIn groups, just go out there and meet people, talk to them. None of the problems you run into are as unique as you think they are. Somebody's probably solved it already. You just need to find them. And if you want to talk to me, sndevs.com Slack is the best place, but I also have a link tree. It is linktree/WizzoFloyd, WIZ0FLOYD. All of my socials are on there.
I giggle a little bit, only because if any of you out there in the ServiceNow Slack community has been wondering who is Wizzo Floyd, we have him right here in Adam Celli. He's right here before us. I thank you for your contribution to the community, by the way. I want to next ask Uma, do you have any final thoughts for us, and where can people find you on social?
Yeah, I would say I would like to second what Adam said. First of all, like keep asking, and yeah, your problem is not unique. So I would say community is a great place to collaborate. So ask as many questions as you can, and answer as many questions as you can. That helps at the end. And about where I can be found, I am on Facebook and on LinkedIn with Aggarwal. You can find me there. Yeah.
You can find her on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we'll certainly leave everyone's social handles in the description for this video. And let's skip over to Michael. Michael, do you have any final thoughts for us? And where can people find you?
Sure. So I would definitely echo the sentiment that community is a great place to participate. I found that helping others is one of the best ways for me to improve myself, because looking at the problems other people are having has helped prepare me for things that I've run into in out in the wild and in the real world that I never would have thought of. So it's a great place to learn, both for yourself and to help others. Can be found definitely out on community and on LinkedIn.
One of the things that you said that it reminds me that one of my mentors, and you mentioned him too, Uma, Robert Fedoric, he said when you're learning ServiceNow or you just kind of want to stay abreast of what's going on, is every day just spend 5 minutes reading some of the posts in the community. You'll start to understand like what's going on in the community, what's going on in the platform, and then you'll start to discover that you can start answering those questions. So I'm thinking a lot about what you just said, Michael, and kind of tying it with what Uma offered as well. I want to next go to Sarah. What about you? Where can people find you? And do you have any final thoughts for us?
I am on LinkedIn and the SNW Slack. I also add content to my blog at portalorum.com, which focuses on design and development of Service Portal. My goal there is to teach developers on the platform that design is not scary, it's not magical, and that we are all more than capable of learning it as a skill. As for final thoughts, I want to encourage everyone out there in ServiceNow land, no matter where you are or what background you come from, to remember that your experiences are valuable additions to your work on this platform. Like I mentioned earlier, development is not my first career. My administration and design. Don't be afraid to embrace this community and sharpen your skills and contribute your unique perspective to this platform's ecosystem.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And finally, Ryan, tell us your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. No matter where you go, there you are. If you ain't first, you're last. No. Seriously, the community is a great place to learn and grow, as others have said. A lot of what I have learned today, I've gotten from the community, and I try my best to give back. I think Michael was alluding to, there's a lot of stuff that's going on out there, and it's helpful for you to look at some of the issues other people are having so that you can learn and grow from those. Hopefully somebody has a solution. But there's stuff that's out there from even, I found something from like 7 years ago that I could still use that same solution today. So the community is a great place to learn things and find information. And I highly encourage people to participate out there. Google is most certainly your best friend otherwise, because there is so much content out there from so many different resources, that if you were to Google, like ServiceNow discovery, you might find a really great ServiceNow, like YouTube channel from somebody like us that's creating that sort of content. But you can find me. I'm on LinkedIn as Lord Ryan Gillespie. I'm on Twitter as the man, the myth, the legend, and I'm on YouTube as the man, the myth, the legend. And Uma and I are going to be best friends on Facebook. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Ryan. You said do your Googles when you're looking for some of your answers, and certainly absolutely use the search function in the community. You'll be amazed. The question, I believe that Adam, I think, may have said, like the issue or the question you may have may not be as unique as you think. If you just get in there and do your Googles or go into the community and do a search, you'll be amazed that you can find, a number of solutions to the problem you may be facing. One of the things that I wanted to end our episode with today is that the importance of mentorship, the importance of community, and I'm one of the type of people that I teach to learn, and that's something that I was able to figure out in my former life as a school teacher, is that whenever I taught students a new concept, their first thing that they needed to do was to teach it to their next door neighbor, because when you do that, you kind of feel responsible for that person and it firms up your own knowledge. So I just want to say that I am so proud to be flanked by you all. I'm so proud to be working with you and to be among you in the leadership, in the MVPs and rising stars. So thank you for participating. And for everyone out there, stay curious and let's go.